The romantic lead of this book is our main girl's Tinder date's father.
Well, that was fast. I think I'm DNFing this on page 6.
The please unfuck us basket.
No! I'm gonna try, guys. I'm gonna try and finish this. Next time I want you to keep the fucking hat on. The cowboy hat, girl.
I read Vibes way too many times for the amount of pages that I read.
Hello, my absolutely darling friends. Happy Christmas season. Let me see if this goes. You know why we're here, or you might. I wasn't sure if I was going to have time to do this year, but I'm starting early. There are many books that I actually want to read. I'm hoping that this will be mostly enjoyable, but also a little bit torturous for me because I know you enjoy that. We're back, baby, with a Christmas rom-com marathon. Yes, indeed. Not sure how many we're going to get to, but we have been graced by another Catherine Walsh short story collection. Not a full-length book. That's okay. I will forgive her. I'm going to read as many as I can. It's December 2nd. We've got time. I spent this morning with a friend. We got gingerbread lattes, and then we went Christmas card shopping. This is the envelope for it. I have put all of my Christmas cards up, so things are sparkly and lovely, and I have my little snow candle. My gingerbread man now is appropriate. He's out all the time, but it's his season now. So shall we start? I've got the night to myself. Kurt has a dinner meeting, and I've got a 300 some odd page book that I have been waiting to crack open for months. So shall we introduce the first book? I'm so excited for this. I'm going to use my phone to read it. We are starting off with one of my favorite authors, one that I tend to reread around Christmas season, whether or not I'm reading rom-coms specifically for a video. That is, of course, B.K. Borison. I love Light Farms. I don't know what she put into that. Love that entire series. I think just the small town, her characters, that's what really, if you've watched this channel enough, you know that I'm much more about like the sweet characters, the banter, the found family of it all than I necessarily am about the romance. She does side characters so well. And she just wrote a paranormal romance for Christmas. And this could go many different directions. I've never read a paranormal story by her before. Wasn't the biggest fan of First Time Caller just because of the male lead. So I'm hoping that this is my only other book by her that is outside of her Love Light Farms world. Hope it still goes strong. But let's dive in. Apparently everyone says it's great. So fingers crossed we start off on a good note, because that would be exactly what I need right now, to be honest. Whipping up Goodreads. Wow. This only came out 2 months ago. Geez, this came out October 21st, and it's already sitting at 19,400 ratings. And it's sitting at a 4.2. It's part of a series called Ghosted, hence the paranormal of it all. Here we go. I'm going to read it to you. Are we ready? Welcome to the video. This is so exciting. I love this every single year. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Hope you're doing really well. I will be sitting at home, not going home for the holidays. Kurt and I are probably going to like order pizza or something. So I hope that, you know, whether you're with family, whether you're home alone, you're not alone. Just so you know. In I go. God, this is already great. He's the ghost of Christmas past. She's not exactly Scrooge. The ghost of Christmas past, Nolan Callahan, intends to spend this holiday haunting like every other. Get in, get out, return to his otherwise aimless existence as a ghost awaiting the afterlife. But when he's faced with Harriet York, the sweetest assignment he's ever had, he suddenly finds himself wishing for a future. Harriet York has no idea why she's being haunted. She's a good person, or at least she tries to be. A people pleaser to her core. She always does what's expected of her. But as she and Nolan begin to examine her past, they discover there are threads that bind them together and realize there might be more to moving on than expected. With the deadline of Christmas Eve fast approaching, will they find the key to their futures in each other's pasts, or will they stay firmly in the present, indulging in their unexpected, spirited connection? It's 384 pages. I'm scared that this is going to make me cry. I feel like we're going to start off with a tearjerker, and that's not necessarily what I wanted, but in we go. I've already got it locked and loaded. Let me read to you. Oh, it's going to be dual POV. Okay. Let me read to you the first little bit. Shall we? Also, I cannot take my eyes off of this. This is a great purchase, by the way. Chapter 1. Oh, well, it's the second day of December. That's exciting. Today, it's December 2nd here, but in the book, on the first day of December, the universe gave to me a busted knee, a twisted string of garland, and a cat with an attitude problem. I don't need any of these things, but I have all three, warring for my attention as I roll to a stop at the bottom of my porch steps after tripping over a rogue cat. She meows and scampers after me, offering a sandpaper lick on the back of my hand, like she's not the reason I'm stretched out across the sidewalk in front of my little house, like a CSI Annapolis cold open, sparkly garland twisted around my ankle. The cat's name is Oliver, and I'm excited. I love a CSI reference. I feel like BK Borison gets me. Like, I feel like we're coming from the same well of inspiration. Whenever she writes, I'm like, I get all of your references. Okay, I'm excited. I feel like I'm going to decide on the fly if I'm going to give spoilers or not. I feel like if a book is bad, I'm going to give spoilers. We'll see. I'll make the call as I go. I'm going to make some winter moomin tea. I'm going to get comfy on the couch, maybe put on some Christmas music, instrumental only. And I'm going to read a Christmas rom-com. This is so exciting. I didn't know what I was going to do with my night. I feel like I've made a great call. Okay. In we go. Welcome. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Oh no, this is Cruel and Unusual Punishment. She is describing so many delicious things that I cannot get my hands on in Korea. She just mentioned peppermint bark. She just decorated her home. Now she's going to the antique store that she inherited from her aunt. She's really excited to go decorate that, but she's ready to shovel enough peppermint bark into my face to make this morning nothing more than a bad memory because she had a shitty day, okay? Also, she has a postman that does not have any sense of direction, and I love characters that are just like hopelessly lost. Hate them in real life. Love them in these books. But I was just talking to my friends about how much I miss peppermint bark and how it is simply unavailable in Korea. If you have any leads on where I can find peppermint bark that isn't $30, they do sell it in Korea, but it is like you need to give one of your essential organs. It's not worth it in my book, but I'm on page 6 and this feels so Christmassy. It is December 1st and she is like setting up her house and she is just like name dropping like Bing Crosby, talking about the decorations she wants to put up, talking about the food she wants to eat. I'm in the mood. This is great so far. However, she's already said something. So she's talking about, she works at an antique store and she's always loved it ever since she was a kid. And she really loved kind of like helping little old things kind of find their shine again, find their home. And she says, I've wondered if I worked hard enough at my bruised and broken bits, if I could be shiny again too. I've wondered if anyone might ever see me as something precious. And if this book is not giving me the feels of Cardigan by Taylor Swift, I fear that's a bad sign. Like a good sign, but a bad sign for someone who doesn't feel like crying today. I'm excited. I just wanted to check in and say that I would really love some peppermint bark right now. Okay, so she's had a shitty day. We also know that she has a shitty family and she's just trying to chill. She put on a Christmas movie. She's trying to eat peppermint candies. Okay, I'm so busy trying to suck down tea and convince myself that I'm fine that I don't notice the important things. Namely, the strange man in my living room. It's the scuff of his boots against the floor that finally catches my attention. His shadow large and looming in the glow of my Christmas tree. He clears his throat. My head snaps in his direction. I scream. I scream at the top of my lungs and I hurl the closest projectile I have. The TV remote sails over his shoulder, landing next to an ornament of a lighthouse. He doesn't so much as flinch, gazing at me steadily from the shadows. Hello, Harriet. he says easily. Oh, he's Irish. I think I know this. He has a faint accent. I'm pretty sure he's an Irish ghost because why wouldn't he be? Why wouldn't he be? He tells her to not be alarmed and she's like, yeah, a little late for that. I'm excited. I'm excited. Hey, checking in from 20%. This is cute. I like their dynamic. She has requested that he doesn't just materialize. He needs to knock on her door to warn her that he is entering her home. And she has like a Ring camera, like those doorbells with the speaker and the camera. And he calls them the tiny malevolent spirit residing in your doorbell because he is, surprise, hundreds of years old. He apparently died drowning. He fell off of a boat in the middle of like a winter storm. And bada bing, bada boom, there he is. We get brought into her first memory, and like he only visits people that are bad, right? So he's thinking this lady's got something to hide. This lady's got sins to repent for. But she finally agrees to get taken back to her first memory. And these memories are supposed to be things that they did wrong, and they need to like repent, undo it, whatever, accept it, come to terms with it, apologize, whatever. And he kind of immediately has a feeling like she says, this seems like some kind of mistake. Like, I'm pretty much a good person. And he kind of believes her. He's sort of like, you know what? You do seem kind of nice. But maybe you're like a really good liar. So he's assuming that he's finally going to figure out how this girl is so evil because he lists off like the other people he usually has to deal with. And it's, you know, people cheating on their spouses or like landlords raising the rent so that people lose their homes and things like that. So he's like, what could this girl in her weird ass Christmas pajamas be up to? And the memory they get taken back to is she stole like a tiny little figurine from a miniature train set. But it's mainly just her being yelled at by her parents. Clearly there's something going on with her sister. Like her and her sister used to be super close, and as of 6 months ago they have not spoken. They had some kind of fight. Like that was it. She doesn't understand why she was taken back in time for that memory. He doesn't understand why they were taken back in time for that memory. He's like, she's a little girl that stole a figurine because her mom was screaming at her and being like, why can't you be better like your sister? Like you're such a disappointment. You're so embarrassing, blah, blah, blah. So everybody's confused, but it's cute so far. I appreciate the dead jokes. It's moving a little bit slow, but I hope that now that they've gone through their first memory, it will speed up a little bit. It was more of like she was refusing to believe that he was a ghost. So we couldn't like start the story because it was like, Harriet, just like let the man do his job. Yeah, it's just filled with like Christmassy vibes because they use the word peppermint on every other page. So I'm excited to continue. I don't know if I'll check in again tonight because I just got an email that I have to do some random work, and that's all I can focus on now, unfortunately. Yeah, so far so good. On page 67. Okay, a final little check-in before I go to sleep. I'm falling asleep as we speak. 30% of the way through. I'm on page 111. They have been going through the memories. Seems like Harriet's a pretty nice girl. They still can't figure out what sins she has committed. And that's when, again, Harriet is like a super people pleaser. She decides maybe it's Nolan that is stuck. Like Nolan is thinking he's supposed to help her, but she's like, what if I'm supposed to help him? Because he seems to be stuck in this weird afterlife. Did he commit any sins? Like, why isn't he living, you know, in paradise or something like that? Why is he stuck doing this for centuries? But when she brings that up, he gets really hopeful, and then he's like, this is stupid. Like, why would I've been doing this for hundreds of years? Why is this girl, this random ass girl, gonna save my life? So he gets really pissed. I think a little overly pissed because we haven't really seen how tortured he is. Like through his POV, even though he's like bored and lonely, he seems to like kind of like that. He's like, I just sit in my house and read and take care of my cats, and I really enjoy it. So His reaction seems a little overblown. He says some pretty harsh things. Also, Harriet just seems a little dumb. Like, I think she's supposed to be 27, so like it's not that bad, but she just seems a little childlike. But they're both like physically attracted to each other like pretty immediately, which, you know. So I'm excited for this. Like, I know that I said that last time. I'm excited for this to get going. Still excited for it to get going. It's a very slow moving plot, I feel like. And it's really, there aren't that many side characters so far, like, which is, like I said, my favorite thing about BK Borison are her side characters. And like, even that little glimpse of the mailman was so cute, or like the little glimpse of the woman who runs the bakery she goes to, so cute. But really all we've been seeing is Nolan and Harriet back and forth, and they like don't trust each other, don't like each other, expressing their full feelings to each other. So it just feels like I've been listening in on an awkward conversation for the past 100 pages. And I'd really like for them to start having some heart-to-hearts, or start introducing some side characters, get this plot going. Bring Isabel back. His boss, Nolan's supervisor, seems really hilarious. I bet she's gonna be, maybe not. She could be the person who is in the next series. I always like guessing who the next couple is going to be. If like a romance writer is writing a series, it could be Isabel. And I think that would be really funny. Anyway, they have now yelled at each other and stormed off. He also took 5 days off because he was like getting so physically attracted to Harriet that he like needed to cool down. He was like, maybe this will, like, 5 days apart will help me feel better. And it's like, dude, you're on a ticking clock. Like, you're on a schedule. Act professional, man. Like, you think this girl isn't special enough to save you, yet this is the only person in 100 years that you have like connected with in any way? Give me a break. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep while they're in a fight. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm using this as a light. Does this look creepy? Maybe. I finished Good Spirits. There really wasn't much, honestly, to check in with you on ever since the like 30 to 40% mark where I stopped. I guess I stopped at 34%. So you know how I mean, I already said it. Her strengths are her side characters. And unfortunately, there weren't good side characters in this, or there weren't any scenes with side characters. A lot of this was our main girl dealing with her like evil family situation, and that just kind of felt like a story that we've seen before, like a girl dealing with her toxic mother, and the guy is like, you should decide for yourself, stand up for yourself, and then she does, and like, yay. So you know, I liked the last 2 chapters because it was Nolan and Harriet talking to other people. Like, I think that them constantly talking to each other just felt cheesy for some reason, this whole book, without like the influence of outside parties. But like the last chapter in Nolan's POV where he's talking with his supervisor, and like Harriet talking to her sister, or Harriet talking to the postman or the person who works in her shop. Like, those were all the kind of BK Borison scenes that I really like. So, unfortunate. It was fine, but it really didn't do anything for me personally. I think if you maybe deal with parent trauma, I don't know, maybe it would call to you, but it just didn't hit, unfortunately, as much as I wanted it to. But I did a bit of research. I've got a couple already locked and loaded. I'm waiting for one at the library. So there are more books in our future. I'm going to take a little break because I need to work on some other things, but I've got other books to read. I can't just be reading Christmas rom-coms all December. I've got so many books out from the library. I'm stressed. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on Good Spirits. I think it would have made like a passable Netflix Hallmarky kind of movie, just a little forgettable, which is upsetting because Love Light was so fun. More of a letdown just because it was BK Borison and I hold her to a very high standard. So fine, okay? See you in our next book. Good morning. Another day, another Christmas rom-com. I'm still in my pajamas, but I'm gonna read you our next bit and then I'm gonna head out and I'm gonna read it out with a coffee. Since seeing you, we've had our first snow. It has since melted, but it was just one huge dumping of snow. So we had a really pretty couple of days. It's gone now, ready to lock into our next one. I picked this one knowing nothing about it, only seeing the title. Okay, so this one is a wild card, and I think this is also written by, I read one of her books in one of my other Christmas romances, like another year, and I didn't like it at all. Like, I'm pretty sure I didn't even finish it. We'll see, but it is called Big Nick Energy. And here we go. It's got a good rating. So yeah, part of her series, her like Season of Revenge series. So the one that I didn't like was called 'Tis the Season for Revenge. I didn't like that one, but whatever this one is going to be 1.5. So I'm not sure about that. This is Big Nick Energy. It has 27,542 ratings, sitting at a 4.03. Here we go. It's apparently like, I think it's like single mom. It said, oh, what did it say on my e-reader? Hold on. Yeah, a single mom cowboy Christmas romance. So, when Connor Finch insists his one-time Tinder match, Shay, comes to his dad's house for Thanksgiving with her 2 daughters, it's because he refuses to let them be alone on her first holiday post-divorce. But when she arrives at the Christmas tree farm and ranch that he grew up on... Wait. She meets his father, the crazy, tall-built golden retriever cowboy who tells her girls all about the magic of the stupid elf on a shelf. Of course, when she later corners him and tells him thanks a lot for nothing and that she's way too overwhelmed to have to deal with yet another responsibility, he feels terrible. Wait, so she doesn't want to have to do the stupid elf on a shelf. My family was not an elf on a shelf family, so I don't really understand it, but like you have to move the elf around or something. So she's like, fuck you, old man, for giving me another thing that I have to do. But he feels so terrible about it that he finds himself driving 2 hours every night just to deliver an elf, move him about, and create some Christmas magic for the girls. But what happens when he decides meeting her the way he did was some kind of Christmas miracle and he needs to convince Shay to give him a shot? Did I read that correctly? The romantic lead of this book is our main girl's Tinder date's father. It's 294 pages. I might be able to finish it today. I'm not so sure about that. I was ready for like cozy, like I love when a dude like steps up and is great, but like your Tinder date's dad. Okay, wait. Let me read you the first page. So this is why I was confused, is because the first POV is in Nick's POV, but Connor is the person dating Shay. So I was anyway. So this is Nick's POV in April. Okay, I'm going on a date tonight, Connor says into the phone. It's propped on my ear as I move along the house, finding then tugging on my boots. It seems the vet I hired was right when they said Mickey was going to go into labor soon. I just didn't expect it the very same day. Yeah? Anyone I know? The perk of having your son when you were barely 18 and way too stupid to know better is that we are as close as can be a full 24 years later. So he's 42? Yeah, wow, I did that in my head really fast, actually. So our dad is 42. Our kid is 24. So we said, anyone I know? And Connor says, nah, just some MILF on Tinder. Wow. Back the fuck up, I say, standing straight and holding the phone to my ear. I have a foal to deliver, but if this is how my son is walking around speaking, the boot I'm putting on is about to be halfway up his ass. He says, we don't fucking talk about women that way, Connor. Connor's like, Dad, but I cut him off. More information clicking and ratcheting up my irritation with him. And what the fuck are you doing going on a date with a woman with fucking kids when you're still one yourself? He's thinking to himself, he's like, my child does not have the fortitude for a woman with children. Hold on. Sorry, in Korea, we have people who come and spray for bugs and stuff like that, and they arrive unannounced, so I had to let him in. Okay, I'm gonna go get a coffee. I'm gonna go change, and we're gonna start reading this. I don't know. I feel better now that I know that Connor's like a young dumbass. But we'll see. My secretly festive outfit, nobody knows that I'm wearing candy cane-esque socks. Also, remember last time how I was like, oh my God, you cannot get peppermint bark in Korea? Who comes to the rescue? My parents. They sent a goodie bag, and what's in there? Not only peppermint bark, but a mint cookie. Ghirardelli chocolate. So happy. Also, why are all of these presents to Kurt? Love my parents, but they love Kurt maybe more than me. Anyway, also this popcorn, crazy delicious. Anyway, festive. Got my candle. Let's go.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
Oh my God, hi, it's cold. Hello. We are, if I can find my phone, which is in my pocket, we're at 30% already. I'm reading this so quickly. You know what? It's okay. I was a little bit worried, but let me catch you up. I took so many photos to update you. It's moving a little fast. It's gotten a little bit, let me just talk. Okay, so the book starts with us in April, right? When Connor is going on his MILF date, okay? Then we fast forward to right before Thanksgiving. And during this time, they went on one date, realized that they were really good friends. Like they were cracking up, having so much fun. And they realized like, no, actually like we're really great buddies. Let's just like hang out. So like once a month they meet up and like Connor takes the girls out, like they'll go to the zoo or like they'll go whatever. So they've known each other for about 9 months, having like a purely platonic friendship, and both of them are very clear. They're like, you are like a little brother, you are like the uncle to my kids, that kind of feeling. And the reason that she even went on a date with Connor is because he was a rebound, and her friend, who is the girl from the previous book, the one that I didn't like, okay? And I had this moment where I thought Abby, the girl, was gonna fall in love with Connor, like the best friend was gonna fall in love with Connor. Wrong, because she was the girl from the last book, unless they end up in a throuple. Anyway, whatever. I was wrong. So that's a bummer. But her friend was basically like, girl, you need to find like a hot young thing. She made Shay a dating profile and was like, swipe on all the hot guys, like people who aren't your type. Like you're not looking for love, you're looking for a hookup, you're looking for a rebound. And so she like very specifically, like Connor is not her type, okay? She was looking for a young dude that didn't want to be connected to a woman with 2 children. And also she's listing off like why she's very stressed about the holiday season. And she has 2 daughters. One of her daughter wants a horse really badly for Christmas. And who lives on a farm with horses but Nick, the man she hasn't met yet? Okay? How convenient. How convenient is that? But anyway, this is the first Thanksgiving after her divorce. Last year's Thanksgiving, technically, she was separated from her husband because he was emotionally and then eventually physically abusive. Once he hit her, she was like, I'm out. And she took the girls and she ran, and she has a restraining order. She has full custody, etc., etc. So last Thanksgiving was them just kind of like staying at home. Like I think they had like frozen fish sticks or something like that. So this is the first Thanksgiving where she is full custody of the girls. They are living in like an apartment, which, by the way, she has to move out of starting January 31st, which sucks. And Connor is like, listen, my dad is having Thanksgiving. It's like a misfit Thanksgiving. It's a bunch of people who like don't have family, don't have friends, whatever. Well, they have friends, but like they don't have family. And like, hey, your girl can pet a horse. We've got kittens. We've got sheep. Whatever. Like, come visit. So that's the plan. Okay. Then we go backwards 9 months. to like the day or so after Connor went on the date, which we know is the date that like didn't come to any, just made the beginning of a beautiful friendship, right? Nick asks and Connor's like, yeah, I'm still seeing her, whatever. So he's like, oh, so you're dating the MILF. Connor says, it's not a date, we're just friends. I like her, she's cool, but she's not my type. There was a long pause before I can hear the smile in his words. She's actually your type. Apparently, for as long as he can remember, Connor has been trying to find his dad, the one, because how it works out is that I guess Nick hooked up with this girl on graduation night after high school. Then in summer, she calls him and is like, I'm pregnant. I do not want this baby. So even though he had like a full ride to Rutgers, this all takes place in New Jersey, which I love. He had a full ride to Rutgers and he was like, fuck it, I'm raising this kid. And so he took the kid, Connor, and he worked on this farm for like 20 years until finally the owner retired and Nick was able to buy it from him. So yeah, his whole life has been Connor and stuff like that. So the mom has never been in the picture. And so yeah, Connor is like always looking for his dad's type, which is like independent, strong, you know, whatever, which is what Shay seems to be. So she comes over for Thanksgiving. It's not really cool. She is a little high strung. She is stressed. She is just dealing with so much at this point. Even though she's like at Thanksgiving with other people and she didn't have to make anything or whatever, she's still just like so stressed. And Nick is trying to like bring up the vibe because apparently like it's a misfit Christmas. Like nobody knows each other. He's trying to like make conversation. So he starts to talk to the girls, Ruby and Harper, about Christmas, and he mentions Elf on a Shelf, and Shay is just like behind her kids' backs like, shut the fuck up, shut up, bro, like bro. And he doesn't notice until it is way too late, and he is immediately apologetic. He's really sorry about it. He corners her afterwards in the kitchen to be like, girl, I know I fucked up, like I'm so sorry. But they end up getting in a little bit of a fight because he tries to be like, hey, I'm in the same boat as you, like I was also a single parent. I know that I fucked up. Like, I'm so sorry. And she was like, close, but not quite, bucko, because while we might be in, what did she actually say? I really liked how she said it. She says, while we might have been in similar seas, you were in a yacht. I'm in a dinghy. You were celebrated for being the father who stepped up. Well, I'm looked at and told girls really need a father figure to look up to. She's basically like, no, like the experiences of a single dad versus a single mom are similar, but not the same. And also she has 2 kids. Also, she had an abusive ex-husband who is still trying to contact her because he doesn't want to pay all of the child support that he's paying. She's like, no, she actually gets really pissed off. And because he's kind of like, listen, like, I would love to help you. And she doesn't want any help. He's sort of like, you know, accepting help isn't a weakness. And she's like, I know, I'm not weak. She's like, fuck you for thinking that. It's explained later, but like, this is the one thing she can control is like how much help she accepts and like how much of her heart she gives out to people and things like that. But to be fair, immediately Nick gets it. Like every time he fucks up, he's like, oh, I fucked up. I'm sorry about that. Like I said that wrong. I thought wrong. I, worded that incorrectly, whatever. He's on top of it. Okay. So we love that for him. And then a few days later, December 1st, she opens the door, her kids, they're heading to school and she's trying to like rally the troops, get the kids out the door. But I can't do anything but stare in a mix of awe and horror and confusion because on the front step, a little elf in a red outfit, pointy hat and ears, a stupid smile I already hate, is sitting on my goddamn welcome mat with 2 envelopes. A motherfucking elf on a shelf. Or in this case, an elf on my fucking front step. What is it, Mom? Ruby asks, dipping her head under my armpit to see, but she sees what it is and screams, oh my God. That snaps me out of my daze a bit, my eye contact with the elf breaking and moving to look at my daughter. Ruby, people are sleeping. Oh my God. She repeats, slightly quieter. What is it? Harper asks, also using her head to nudge me aside to see what has her sister so excited. The elf! I sigh. There's no hope of keeping them contained. So what occurs is that every single night our boy is coming and setting up the elf on the shelf to do like weird shit, because the elf is supposed to like do funny things. First, it's just leaving stuff on the front door, and then eventually Shay lets Nick in, and he like every night helps her clean up and like brings her a glass of wine and, you know, makes the elf do something funny. And the girls are like losing their shit over it, which is the reason why Shay is okay with it. She's like, listen, normally I wouldn't let a strange man into my home, but okay. And like Nick is constantly asking Connor for more information. So like all of the gifts that the elf leaves are super specific, like even for Shay, it's all things that they love. And so, you know, but now we've reached the stage where they've finally gotten to know each other well enough that Nick kisses Shay in the kitchen. Actually, he asks permission and she kisses him. So she's still in control, okay? But she's tale as old as time. She's like, no. My kids really like you, so we can't date. We can't be anything more than just friends, because if we ever break up, like that would be really bad. So you're just going to be like similar to Connor, like you're just going to be an uncle. You're just going to be a friend. And he's like, okay, that's what you say. But just so you know, like, next time I might not kiss you, but like you're sure as hell gonna kiss me. I know it. Like I'm not giving up kind of thing. So yeah, I think that this would be really therapeutic for a single mom to read, because it does really talk about just how rough it is. And I really like that she stands up for herself. She is like healed enough that she really stands her ground and like expresses her emotions quite clearly, even though she's really stubborn. Like she knows why she's stubborn, and she talks about it. And I think that that's really great. But yeah, I think it's cute so far. I don't know what else is going to happen in 30%. I'm only 30% of the way through, so I'm excited to see what continues. The only thing I can't get behind, two things I can't get behind. Number one is that he calls her sugar plum. Like, he means to tease her, but like, it's too much. It's too many syllables. Sugar plum, I mean, 3 syllables. I don't know what it is. It just pisses me off. I don't like the sugar plum term of endearment. And then second of all, he wears not only a cowboy hat, which I feel like I could get behind at some point. It's fine. But he also wears cowboy boots. And I'm like, you can't wear both. You have to wear one or the other. You live in New Jersey. I can't get behind that. So anyway, that's what's going on. And yes, so I will update you in a bit. I have to go inside. My fingers are freezing. Yeah, I'm going to make lunch or something, and then maybe we'll go for a walk. It's a beautiful day. But yeah, big Nick energy. In we go.
We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Okay, I just fought a battle and I won. Do not come here for the matcha. I always forget and I order it and I'm upset. But I come here for the view, as you can see. So I'm set up here. I've got a yucky iced matcha. And I'm going to continue to read. I think my only issue with this book as of right now is that he keeps talking about how he's going to make her mine. Like, I want Shay to be mine. I want the girls to be mine. And like, I know that for some people that's nice, like the ownership of it. I'm going to make you mine, be mine, like that whole thing. Personal turnoff for me. So good for her that she has a cowboy that wants to make her his, but not for me. So that's it so far. And let's go.
Thank God.
Oh, bring us a figgy pudding. Oh, bring us a figgy pudding. Oh, bring us a figgy pudding and a cup of good cheer. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. So bring some out here.
Ooh, chile. Okay, actually, wait, is it too windy? I don't know how much this mic can take. Okay, I finished it. So I was able to read it so quickly because it quickly descended into smut, and the writing, she used almost all of my least favorite words. So it wasn't like horrible. Like the book in and of itself, actually really cute. I felt like it was kind of realistic to how like that situation might be. Obviously moved a little bit faster for the plot. I just love girl dads. But yeah, the smut was pretty icky just for me. Just the particular words, things I could not believe she said, such as like, next time I want you to keep the fucking hat on, the cowboy hat, girl. Anyway, the smutty parts were not to my taste, but when are they? Honestly, like that was actually really cute. I'm not sure if like everybody would love it, but because it did move quite slow and it just kind of was realistic. Like I could very much picture a couple, I mean the setup, like dating your Tinder date's dad, like I don't think that's really realistic, but in terms of like how they treated each other, how they had to like talk about boundaries and things like that, it just felt very, yeah, like real people stuff. So that was cute. Again, I think like maybe a single mom would feel like really, I don't know, you'd feel really vindicated reading it. The third act, crisis, whatever it's called, wasn't even that bad. Like it also was kind of realistic. Yeah, I just enjoyed. So that was actually a pleasant surprise. I thought Big Nick energy, like the first time I Googled it, I think it was for a different book, but the cover was like topless dude. So I was like, oh no. But you know what? It was cute. And the epilogue, I almost had to leave. These ladies sat down next to me and I was like, girls, I am reading the epilogue of a romance book. Leave me alone. Definitely had me tearing up. It was cute. Again, like I do think the fact that this happened over the course of 1 month, a little crazy. And I think that the dude, it was like he's the guy who does and says all the right things all the time. But I, feel good, very feel good. So if you're looking for something like that, single mom, finally getting the help she deserves, somebody to take care of her, that kind of thing. Real cute. So that was Big Nick energy. Wow. It is December 8th today, I think. So still plenty of time for Christmas. I've got a couple more up my sleeve. A couple that I couldn't finish last year that I'm going to try and finish this year. Yeah. But I'm going to head home and do some work. So I'll see you the next day that we start our adventure. See you then.
We're back. Hello. We've got a lot of ground to cover. If you watch my vlog channel, it might already be up. I'm not sure, but we just booked a sudden, like last minute trip to Japan. So I suddenly have a little bit less time to work with. We've got to turn the speed up a little bit. I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 other books that I think I want to try and read. So we'll see. Will it be a Christmas miracle? We do not know. I'm going to start today with a book that I was just kind of browsing and I came across this one. Title sounds interesting and I seem to remember, I believe it's a fake dating, messy little book. And that's what I kind of want to try today. We've had the feel good. I want some Christmas mess, if that's not too much to ask. So what we will be reading today is Good Elf Gone Wrong. Why not gone bad? But it's gone wrong. Anyway, I'm going to quickly read it to you and then I'm starving. I'm going to go out and get also cover diabolical. I love when Christmas rom-coms look like someone just went crazy on Canva and no one was like, hey. No, this is truly like a Canva mistake. Good for you, Alina Jacobs. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna go get like a bagel or something. I'm treating myself today. This came out in 2023. It's 14 pages long. Surely that can't be right. Hold on. Jesus Christ, surely this can't be right. Wait a second. Oh, wait, what? Okay, this says, I think this is for the audio, says that it's 14 pages long. I don't know what that means. But on here for the book, it says it's 589 pages. There is no way I'm reading a 600-page romantic comedy. Let me scroll and see if this is true. When does it end? So it ends on page 538. Oh my God, should I save this for later? Should I just try it? Maybe it'll be a DNF. That's insane. There's another one called Elf Against the Wall, Elf on the Edge. Why is it so long? It starts with a prologue in Gracie's POV. In italics, it says, Santa baby, don't come down my chimney. I want you to go through the back door. What in the fresh Christmas hell? I almost dropped the Christmas morning cinnamon rolls that I left to proof in the oven. I glanced at the clock. It was 11:48 on the night before Christmas, and my freshly divorced grandmother was watching holiday-themed porn in the living room. Okay, I'm gonna see how much I can read over a bagel, and I'll come back with reports. This was a choice.
Well, that was fast. I think I'm DNFing this on page 6. So basically, we thought Grandma was watching a porno. No, it was her sister having kinky Santa Claus sex with her fiance, like our main girl's fiance and our main girl's sister, just like really loud and really obscene in the living room. She like tries to interrupt them, and they're so into it that like even though she's standing there being like hello, they just keep going at it and saying really weird Santa things. We hear that like, you know, Kelly, her sister, always the problem child. She's always been hotter than her. She dresses like she's always going out to a club, like whatever. Like the things that they say are just so stupid. The first thing her sister says when she realizes that they've been caught is just like, oh, you always go to bed early. Why are you awake? And she's like, I was checking on the cinnamon rolls. The first thing she says to her husband, or her like almost husband, which by the way, they're getting married on Christmas, which has been her dream since she was a little girl, and that sounds like a fucking nightmare, by the way. But her response to her cheating fiance is, I always made sure you had a home-cooked meal when you came back from work, even though I was working too, I warbled, the tears making the lights on the Christmas tree blur and spin. I clean the apartment, take your clothes to the dry cleaners, and hem your pants. I don't understand how you could do this to me, James. I love you. And then she's like, but I do know how he could do this to me. My sister. Men always found her sexier, prettier, more exciting than me. It wasn't just men. Family, friends, even retail workers. Everyone loved my pretty sister. Blah, 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 blah. You promised you liked me better than her, I cried to James. And then her sister goes, maybe if you weren't so stuck up and boring, Gracie, you'd keep a man. And James is like, don't worry, I'm still gonna marry you. He pulls his pants on. I shuddered. He didn't even wash off his penis. And then she's like, wait, so this isn't the first time, because he said something of like, you always make me feel so much better than your sister or whatever. So she knows this isn't the first time. And she's like, wait a damn minute. Do you have sex with Kelly and then come into bed with me? You don't even shower after? And her sister says, hell no. He goes straight to sleep. He likes to smell me on him, don't you, big boy? Grandma comes down and is like, whoa, it smells like a strip club in here. She's the eldest daughter, so when the boat starts to rock, she steadies it. So when her whole family comes down to see what's going on, she's like, oh, it's no big deal. Let me get the casserole ready. This is so stupid. You can't like my sister. She has fake tits. My dad bought them for her 18th birthday. And then she pukes her guts out into the novelty ceramic Santa mug. And that's it. I'm not into it at all. So let's see what else I have on the docket. That one's gone. Thanks for joining me for that one, guys. What do we have next? Oh, one of these I've heard is really bad. What's this one? A Very Merry Mistake. That one's a lumberjack, small town forced proximity holiday romance. That sounds right up my alley. Let me see. This one. So I was gonna read Make the Season Bright last year. Love a sapphic romance. But I heard that it was kind of not good. Yeah, it's 2 exes. It's like second chance. I'm gonna leave that for later. But I heard that, like, it's a kind of toxic romance. Like, maybe the ex isn't actually good. I had that. What was that? I think it was the very first year that I did this. I read a rom-com that was supposed to be, like, the holiday. Like, they were doing apartment swaps. And the one girl, like, so toxic to each other. I don't want to have a repeat of that. So I'm going to save that one for a little bit later. I'm going to instead read A Very Merry Mistake. Let me look at about this book. A sexy cinnamon roll lumberjack offers me a ride into town, a stay at his cozy cabin, and eventually his bed. All things I can't refuse. I have no concept of how loudly I'm talking in this cafe. I'm so sorry, everybody. After several flirty glances and heated mistletoe kisses, we created rules, no strings attached, no falling in love. I visited the small town for one reason only, to prove a point to my father. Now, I've got a fake boyfriend, a secret to keep hidden, and a choice to make that will determine more than just my future. If you're searching for a spicy holiday romance with a protective cinnamon roll lumberjack and a sassy heroine, this is the book for you. A Very Merry Mistake is a standalone with as sweet as gingerbread, happily ever after. The small town contemporary romance has a dash of grumpy sunshine, forced proximity, secret identity. and tons of southern goodness. Fade to black is not included. Oh, Jesus. All right, well, here we go. Chapter 1, Claire. No, please no, I mutter as I press the gas pedal of the gigantic truck to the floorboard, hoping it will pick up speed. Instead, it sputters before losing momentum. The steering wheel locks, and it takes all the strength I have to guide the behemoth off the country road and onto the shoulder before coming to a stop. The engine no longer running. I'm officially stranded. All right, I'm gonna try this one. So, what an adventure today has been.
Okay, updates. This isn't anything special. I feel like if I saw it on a screen, it would be less corny. It's basically like city girl with a secret past. Like, I think her dad is some kind of rich, famous person. She's coming to this Christmas town to like prove something. I don't know. So she's like the typical girl who like doesn't own snow boots. She only wears stilettos and like blah, blah, blah. Everyone has a Christmas last name in this town, which is insane. So we have Jake Jolly, and other people's last names are like gingerbread, like last names that do not exist. But yeah, there's a storm. Her inn reservation got messed up, and so she doesn't have anywhere to stay, so she stays with this guy. I thought it was gonna be kind of funny because the way that it's set up is like she doesn't trust him because like he's a man who just picked her up on the side of the road, but then also he like drops her keys off at the mechanic so that once the snow clears, the mechanic can go and like pick up her broken down truck. And the mechanic is friends with this Jake Jolly, and he's sort of like, I've heard about this scheme before, like she's a grifter, like she's gonna scam you, she's gonna rob you, whatever. So like he is also scared of her and like suspicious of her. That lasted for not even a second. I thought that would be really funny. Dynamic did not work. She hasn't been explained, but like she is scared of something. She sees something outside. I can't tell if it's just because she's a skittish person or does she actually think someone is chasing her. She has like a weird ex named Dale. Anyway, but she gets so scared that she like crawls into his bed and they like cuddle. I don't know, man. This is one of those books where they don't really have banter. They just have like fun facts about each other. So like right now she's like exploring the house and she sees his bookshelf, and he's got so many, and he says, yeah, every week I download and read the #1 best-selling novel. If I enjoy it, I buy it in hardcover. And so confirmed, Jake Jolly reads Colleen Hoover, most likely. But yeah, it's like, it's not really doing anything for me, but I'm actually 20% of the way through. This one's pretty short. I'm on page 67. So, you know, I'm gonna push through, but there's so much that is just like not explained yet, and it doesn't feel mysterious. It just feels like I wish she would get around to explaining why our girl is weird, you know? Yeah, I don't want to waste anybody's time, my own, yours. This is just a really boring book. I only read 30 pages since I last talked to you. I'm now at 30%, and it's like everything happens so quickly that there's no time to even like enjoy a little bit of it. Oh, there's mistletoe. Oh, it's bad luck. We have to kiss. And then they move on to the next thing. And then it's just like so much. They're at 30% and they're already like talking about getting married and having kids. Also, his dad is literally Santa. And instead of laughing, he says, ho, ho, ho. And yeah, this is doing absolutely nothing for me. Unfortunately, it really, so I'm actually gonna stop here so that I can hopefully find one that I think will click. It's like not even bad. Like I'm happy to read a really icky, shitty book, but this kind of just like, it's really boring. 2 in a row, man. Maybe I should go back to The Elf Gone Wrong. Who knows? Maybe I will.
Desperate times, folks, desperate times. So okay. Here's what we're doing. I'm saving Merrily Ever After by Catherine Walsh for the end because I know that those are going to hit because she is my absolute queen of Christmas rom-coms. I honestly just want to read Snowden and holiday romance again. Like, that's all I want to do this Christmas. So I'm keeping her for the end. But as I was looking up Merrily Ever After, another book popped up, and it is by none other than Hannah Grace. I'm a sucker for Hannah Grace in terms of like her banter. I'm a little worried because this one does have like kind of a low rating, but honestly, like people just hate Hannah Grace. So maybe that, let me look like what is ice? You know what? This is a very reasonable rating actually. So I'm going to read Hannah Grace wrote a Christmas rom-com. And so let me read to you what we might be getting ourselves into. It is called Holiday Ever After. Clara Davenport wants to solve Fraser Falls' biggest problem. According to Jack Kelly, Clara is Fraser Falls' biggest problem. All Clara Davenport has ever wanted to do is climb the ladder at Davenport Innovation Creative, her family's toy business. Everything was going according to plan until the company was accused of stealing a doll design from an independent toy maker, creating a flurry of bad publicity. With a promotion dangled in front of her like a carrot to a reindeer, Clara is tasked with charming the locals of the small town to solve the PR nightmare by any means necessary. Jack Kelly would be happy to never hear the name Davenport ever again. Less than a year after a guy in a fancy suit appeared on his doorstep with a sleigh full of promises, the company that once falsely claimed they wanted to sign him to their small business program copied his idea. So when Clara prances into town hoping to convince Fraser Falls that her company is not the enemy, Jack is determined not to be fooled by the Davenports twice. But Clara has a plan to win over the community, only to realize that beneath Jack's frosty demeanor lies the key to the town's heart, and maybe her own. Ooh, so it's a copyright romance. Okay. It is what it is. I'm down. Why is the sun so violent today? Hit me with some good banter, please. These couples, honestly, all of them have been just real boring. And I go, oh, let me read you the first. Let's see what we got. How does it open? It's 384 pages. Okay. Chapter 1 is in Clara's POV. I do not like this first line whatsoever. I can't deny that technology has done miraculous things for human beings in every aspect of our lives. Living in the 21st century has given me an unimaginable advantage over my ancestors, with the small exception of getting on the property ladder without the assistance of my parents, and I accept that I live a life that my relatives, with their humble beginnings, would hardly believe. But even as I start the day in my beautiful West Village apartment, I can't escape the bone-deep jealousy of those family members who never had to wake up to 12 different people texting them, "Have you seen this?" and 4 missed calls from my father. Okay, you live in a West Village apartment because your parents helped you get it. Clara, part of it's jealousy, part of it, all right. Let's dive in. Currently, I'm on Jack Kelly's side. So let's see. Oh, we are 100% on Jack Kelly's side because apparently this like big company, the Davenport company, completely stole the design and they used AI to write her like the doll's adventure stories. So apparently, let me see, the original one, Holly, is a doll that is a community project and supports multiple independent businesses. Every part of her is made in the United States from recyclable, non-toxic material. Everyone involved is paid a living wage. Every doll comes with her own unique certificate of authenticity. She has 6 adventure stories brought to life by the Greenlight Bookstore and Fraser Falls Art School. So like everybody was involved in this project. And the Evie doll are credited to AI. So yeah, fuck the Davenports. Here for the drama. I wanted a messy book. Woo!
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Okay, you know what? So far, so good. Basically, she has decided that she is going to help the town to prove that she's trustworthy, to like get them to settle or like work together rather than work against each other, blah, 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 blah. And also, like, I feel like this is going to come up later, but they have both worked for their parents. So like she works for her dad and then Jack used to work for his dad before he, I guess, passed away. I'm not really sure what happened there, but like they are not their parents, let's just say. And they both need to realize that you can work for a shitty person and not also be shitty. But I just really appreciate this because she's like drunk drunk texting Jack to be like, or drunk emailing to be like, please let me help you. Like, he turned her down the first time. So she's like, I really want to come back and make this right. But she's clearly using speech to text, which I do all the time. So I totally understand why, like, this sentence does not make any sense because she's talking to two people at once. And I just felt, I mean, also she's a redhead, so I just feel a lot of camaraderie with her. But anyway, I'm on page 78. I'm at 21%. It's got the little like small townness that I like about Lovelight Farms and stuff. So I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful. Also, there is a pastor. Wait, where did he go? I can't find it, but hold on.
We have like a town pastor who happened to be in the bar and overheard that Jack's friend Tommy hired an Etsy witch. There's like a very funny scene. I always appreciate like a comedic religious figure. Anyway, so yeah, it turns out that Tommy paid an Etsy witch to find Jack a date. He was really excited to witness him and Clara hitting it off because they immediately hit it off before they like know each other's identity. But then Jack, like once he discovers that she is a Davenport, she's like, Tommy, you summoned the devil. Like, you didn't summon me a date, you summoned the devil. But anyway, yeah, I love an Etsy witch in 2025. Love to see it. I'm continuing. This is at least keeping me engaged. And it's like teeny little town, really cute, obnoxious, small town people, everybody's connected. High hopes. High hopes.
And a happy new year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin.
Oh, we are back. Finished a book. I finished it last night. My thoughts. Basically, fine. Didn't knock my socks off. Very surprising because this was by Hannah Grace. I expected it to be like, Hannah Grace makes me laugh out loud without fail. Her banter, I always talk about, like, she always has group texts in her like hockey romance books. They always have group texts that crack me up. So I was kind of hoping for that energy. The banter was cute when we got banter, but it was a little different. It was less laugh out loud funny, which is fine. This one just like didn't super do it for me as I hoped it would. I thought that the third act crisis was stupid. Like, you knew what it was going to be, but I thought it was really stupid. I thought that the guy acted just like disproportionately angry because his whole thing is that he's supposed to be really, really passionate about this town, right? And he's the one who created this doll, and like, he feels so bad that he was dumb enough to like enter into this contract with this big toy company without really understanding it, and then his toy and like this huge community project just got ripped off. So he feels horrible. Other than him being like the handyman, like whenever there's a small problem, people will call him, right? Anything from like the old woman can't get her email open to like a tree fell down and is blocking the road, right? Like he does it all. I think maybe, like, to be fair to our man Jack, I feel like we get to him at the point where he is burnt out. So we don't actually see his passion for the community. We hear about it, but we don't really see it as much as you might in other small town books that I've read. So the whole point of this book is that he is like so passionate about the community, and then when she becomes passionate about it, match made in heaven. But really, like, her go get him attitude and like how much she is putting into the community really outweighs what he does. And like, honestly, he's a little disorganized. Like, again, I think we just meet him when he's burnt out and is like not thinking clearly. So then when he gets really betrayed by a certain thing that happens, it feels like, oh, this is the first time he's been like hella passionate in this book, is like when he's getting angry. But like, man, I don't know. It was just everything was like a little lukewarm. There were unexpected Catholic jokes. Really appreciated that. There's like a nativity play that they put on. There were like a couple Joseph and Mary jokes that got a chuckle out of me. Overall, fine. I liked the epilogue a lot. I liked even the very end, like when we get a kind of love confession going on. 2 books in a row in which a storm and lack of electricity causes them to have a slumber party. Yeah, I think that this one was cozy and fine. I could see it being a good rom-com. Like if Hallmark were to make this, I could see them doing a really good job with it. The side characters were really cute. I feel like this and Good Spirits are kind of tied for first place so far, but like neither of them had what I wanted from them. Like if Hannah Grace and BK Borison combined forces, Good Spirits was lacking great side characters, and Holiday Ever After I thought was lacking. Actually, you know what? Both of them were lacking like a really good fleshed out male romantic lead. They were, in terms of like their personalities, great. But in terms of their like motivations and what's going on in that noggin of theirs, not as developed as I would have wanted them to be. So that's that. But now I'm embarking on something that I've been warned about. I was going to read this last year or a year prior, but there was a really, really long wait at the library for it. So I'm going to read it now. And I've been warned. For someone who's like not a big fan of smut, I have been warned against this author, but I'm going to try it. It does not have a high rating. Oh no. Okay. Well, it's only 100 pages. I'm going to finish it. This is not going to be a DNF. I promise you this. I will be reading Wrapped Up in You by the Talia Hibbert. I believe she is behind the Chloe Brown. The first review is only 3 stars, but it says it's cute, funny, festive, and horny. All right. Well, I'm not gonna not read it. So here we go. This actually came out in 2020. Here we go. Oh my God, I'm so scared. There are cats on the cover. There's 3 cats on the cover. So hopefully also all of these without fail have had a cute animal character with a weird name. So we had Elf, who is a really cute dog. In the previous book that I DNF'd, there was Tinsel, the cat, who was not friendly. Anyway, I continue. Wrapped Up in You, it's sitting at a 3.5 stars, so I'm worried. But William Reed is nothing special, except for his billion-dollar acting career and his, face. Winning Sexiest Man Alive was nice, but this Christmas, he has more important goals in mind. Like finally winning over his best friend's little sister, the super smart and kinda scary Abby Farrell. It's always a goddamn blizzard. When a blizzard leaves Will and Abby alone at Grandma Farrell's house, if bunking with 27 pets counts as alone, it's a perfect opportunity to pull off a Christmas miracle. Convincing clever, frosty Abby to give Will a chance will take more than mistletoe. But hiding his lifelong crush on her, no longer an option. Let me read you. Okay, there's 8 chapters and an epilogue. I can do this. Also, we've got color weird pics art. I don't know. Anyway, oh my gosh, his email or like whatever he's using to DM people is Do You Read Me? His last name is Reed. Anyway, I come bearing biscuits. Abigail Farrell stopped typing numbers into her spreadsheet du jour, removed her cat eye spectacles and massaged the bridge of her nose. Hard. Chitra, she said. Remember our little chat the other day? About how you're too pregnant to trek across campus every time you fancy a tea break, and you should stay in the biology block and call me instead? Chitra, who was round and glowing and far too pleased with herself, gave a derisive snort. I can't say I remember that. No. We love banter, we love best friends. In I go. Only 100 pages, so I should be checking it in a second, but pray for me. She's apparently a smutty queen, and that is not me. So, see ya.
Apparently, William Reed is America's 3rd favorite British heartthrob, as voted by the readers of E! Online. Sorry, I'm literally on page 3, but very much like her writing style, which I've heard that I'm supposed to really like her characters, but I'm scared of the smut. Hold my hand.
Good tidings for Christmas and a happy new year.
Okay, I love it when the girl is the Scrooge. When it's grumpy sunshine and she's the grumpy one. You go, Abigail.
Oh my God, fabulous news. So read that in a couple seconds. Finish that one right up real quick. Okay, Talia Hibbert put all of the smut in the epilogue. which was only like 3 pages long. So I was golden. Main complaint is that this was 100 pages long. And it really, really, really could have been longer. This moved really quickly. It was basically like the actor had this whole plan of how he's gonna make his childhood crush fall in love with him. And he calls the brother to be like, do you think this is a good plan? And her twin is like, fuck no. Like, she's a very direct person. You just need to tell her. So he just tells her how he feels from like page 10. And it's basically just them communicating about it. And it was cute, not super Christmassy, because really all they did was like go to the grocery store and I think they had a snowball fight, but it was very quick. I think there was one snowball thrown, and then they had to chase a pregnant cat around in a blizzard. So like Christmas, lost points there, but the banter, I thought it was cute. It dealt with some heavy themes. Like, she was semi-recently divorced from like a really toxic marriage. I really wish it was longer than 100 pages. It had the characters to carry a story. But yeah, it was really good, except for the fact that once they finally freaking say that they love each other, our main guy, who has been like pretty solid the whole time, our main guy says all of my least favorite words in one little sentence. Like, he just suddenly becomes a frat bro. Why is that his reaction to finally realizing the girl he's had a crush on for like decades loves him back? He says, "You're mine as fuck." And she literally is like, "Those words don't make sense." And he's like, "I don't care. You're mine as fuck. Remember that." Where did that come from? I hate it. So anyway, it was really cute until that exact moment. But it should have been longer. So actually really glad that I read that. That just like breath of fresh air. Not my all-time favorite. Like, for example, other books that I've read recently that were really short, like Hot for Slayer, it didn't quite have that amount of yearning to it. But it was another one where I felt like, oh, if she had given herself 100 more pages to flesh this out, it would have been really good. Like, even the tiny moments that we saw of like the sibling dynamic was really cute. Even the best friend, like, I just wanted more, which is a compliment, I think. So yeah, that is Wrapped Up in You. Great. What else do we have? I have, oh my God. I'm not going to start it right now, but I'm going to read it to you. Hold on. Hello? There we go. Oh my God, this is the best day ever. As I was reading the Goodreads summary of Wrapped Up in You, I noticed that there was another book in like the other, like, people also read this book kind of thing. And I couldn't believe my eyes. And I don't know how people aren't talking about it. Or maybe I'm just like not on the correct, I don't know, FYP, Kimberly Lemming, the incredible mind behind That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon, and all of those books, right? The time I yeeted a love potion at a werewolf, etc., etc., etc. Tell me why in 2021, she wrote a Christmas novella called Mistlefoe instead of mistletoe. Oh my God. So I absolutely have it now. It's sitting at a 3.95, which is pretty good. It's got 11,000 ratings. So maybe I wasn't reading romance in 2021 yet, I don't think. So maybe that's why it passed over me. But, oh my God. Here, I'm going to, wait, let me read it to you. So it's called Mistlefoe and italics. It's all fun and games until someone catches feelings. Fate sends me straight into the lion's den, or rather, the fox's den. Wait, somebody's got a tail. I'm looking at the cover. All right, okay, so fate sends me straight into the lion's den, or rather, the fox's den. After my dad trespassed into a powerful fox demon's territory, our family is struck with a powerful curse. Now, to remove it, I'll have to appeal to the demon's better nature. Easier said than done. That arrogant fox demon won't be swayed by an apology basket full of treats. He does, however... This sentence. He does, however, need a fake mate for a week-long winter festival. Not a fake date. A fake mate. Okay. I'd be a liar if I didn't admit that our doting lover's act was becoming harder by the day. The more time I spent with Luca, the more his irresistible charms get under my skin. Deep down, I know it's all a game, but my heart just can't seem to get the memo. When our week-long affair comes to a close, will I be ready to walk away? Oh, hell yeah. It's only 60 pages. Hold the phone. I don't know where my Kindle is. I fear we might have to read it right now, actually. Pause. Let me go get this. Thank God. See, this is the thing. I try and read normal ass Christmas rom-coms and they never hit the way that I want them to. But when it's too short or when it's got a funky person with a tail on the cover, then it's fine. I can't wait. I can't wait. Hold on. It's opening. 60 pages for real. This is the most exciting day of my life. It says mistlefoe. Oh yeah, it is a winter. Okay, I was like, wait, when? I got so caught up. I was like, where's the Christmas? Okay, what? Kimberly Lemming is unhinged. I love her. Even though like I can't read a lot of her books in one go, I love her. Listen to this first paragraph. Chapter 1. There's nothing like a shit-talking sword to reinforce the notion that your dad is an idiot. I squeezed my eyes shut, trying in vain to will away the chorus of foul-mouthed weaponry adorning the small forge. 3 days of this nonsense had me in the worst moods, and from the looks of it, there was no end in sight. Yeah, hit me harder, Daddy, cried the dagger laid upon the anvil. My dad paused mid-strike, looking close to tears. He dropped his hammer on the cobblestone floor and wiped the sweat off his brow. I can't work like this. You can work me 5 ways till Sunday, big guy, called an axe hanging on the wall. The usually proud man slumped his shoulders in defeat and sat on a stool next to his workbench. So he's a weapon maker, and the curse that has been placed upon the family is that all of the weapons he makes shout smutty things at him. Kimberly? Yeah, I'm going to read this. I'm going to read this right now. I'm also going to put my curtain down. I'm being blinded. In I go. She's calling the apology basket that she's bringing the demon the please unfuck us basket. The most beautiful man I'd ever seen strikes again. Wait, does he have a tail? Damn. The tail's gone.
Okay, so there's some world building I could get into, but basically there was like a war, there's an evil witch, and for some reason like all of the women or the females of the foxes died. For every 10 men, there's 1 woman. So he's like, yeah, I need a date. No. I went into the other book being like, oh my god, the smut, I'm so scared, hold my hand, and there wasn't any smut. And then I get to this book and we're on page 10. Let me read to you what is happening. He's like, these are my terms, like, will you be my mate for the week? And if you do this, like, not only will I reverse the curse, but your dad will be able to like access the ore on my lands. Like, that's what he stole like some iron ore to help make weapons. So the fox is like, I'll remove your curse and I'll let daddy use my land or whatever. So she's like, great. Like, just to be clear, you don't eat demons and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, yeah, like this'll be fine. A week-long party with a ridiculously sexy demon sounds like a good deal. So she finishes off her wine glass, sets it on the table. Deal. Excellent, was all the warning I got before I was lifted from my chair and deposited on the table. The wine bottle and glasses shattered with the rushed movement. A gasp tore from my lip. The same moment Luca pulled my pants from my legs. Cool air raced across my bare skin, making me shiver. The demon's molten gaze held me like a vice. My breath came out in a harsh shudder as I felt his hand slowly slip my panties down to my ankles, and they just go at it. He's like, actually, if you don't mind, I think it would strengthen our act if I tasted you now. And she's like, yeah, of course. I feel like we're skipping several steps, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. No, I'm gonna try, guys. I'm gonna try and finish this.
And the talking sword was there to witness it all. She just wants to see some demon ass. Everybody wins.
Never fear, he actually does have his tail.
God, the journey I have been on this couch in one day. You know what? It's fine. There were really only 2 smutty scenes because it was only actually 40 pages long, or 40, it was 50 pages long. Nothing Christmassy about it, barely anything wintry about it. That was You know what? It was very funny. I just appreciate how unhinged it is. Even the sex scenes, because there's magic involved. Yeah, that was funny, but that I don't think it technically counts as a Christmas romantic comedy because, like I said, winter, Christmas, question mark, none of those things. But yeah, that was a thing that I read. So I'm going to mark that off of my list and I will see you guys in a day or two. I'm done for the day. I read like 150 pages, done for the day. So I will see you. We might wrap it up tomorrow. We'll see if anything, if my like library holds come in or whatever. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Okay. Hello. It's a new day coming at you down to the wire. I do not have enough time to finish all of the books on my list. I'm going to try. And you know what I did? I added another book. So I'm actually heading to Japan in about 24 hours. So the next week I will likely not have time to read. So these are my last few hours to get a book done and we're going to try and fit one in. Once again, Catherine Walsh's, I'm going to save for the very end. I'm going to try and read that on my Christmas Eve so that I can get it to you on your Christmas Eve. I don't know how that's going to work. Also, if you need just a feel good, it's so much more complicated than that. If you need a beautiful romance, I just read the new Cat Sebastian. If you don't know, I'm obsessed with Cat Sebastian. Her romances are just... but she writes a lot of historical queer romances and usually I just really love it because the banter is always laugh out loud funny. I also have a bone to pick because this is the second book in which she has said shit about the Yankees. Is she a Red Sox fan? Are we gonna have problems? Anyway, yeah, I think that her banter, her characters, they're always so funny, so good. And this one was not funny. This one takes place in the late 1968 until I think we get all the way into 1970. A horrible time. We're talking about Vietnam. We are at the point in Vietnam in which we know we have fucked up. Everyone knows. Even the people who were like really pro-war are suddenly like, oh shit. We have the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr., Robert Kennedy. We have CIA surveillance. We have gay bars being raided and people being taken to jail. Like just a horrible, horrible time. And so this really wasn't a like funny book, but it was beautiful. And it had nothing to do with Christmas. I think it started in like February, maybe. So there was like a moment of winter. But other than that, removed, not part of my Christmas reading marathon, but stunning if you can get your hands on it, if you want to read. And it was very kind of fade to black-y, and the actual like physicality of the romance wasn't really there. They very like quietly fell in love, which I thought was really, really beautiful. And then there's, you know, love of your neighbor, love of so much platonic love, talking about siblings, talking about loving your dogs, loving your neighbor's kids. Like it was just so full of love. So that's a tangent. Not a Christmas book, but a beautiful, beautiful book set in New York. She puts so much history. I learned so much when I'm reading her books. Like it's truly a historical romance in the way that you learn so much about that historical period as well, which I think is just really, really wonderful. But I accidentally found this other book. I saw somebody else reading this and I decided to pick it up because I don't want to read Make the Season Bright. I've heard too many negative things about it and I think I'm going to go into it with that in mind and I'm probably going to have a bad experience either way. And that's not fair to the book. And it's not fair to me. I don't have a lot of time on my hands. So instead I'm going to read one that I literally just heard the title and that you should read it. And so here I am. Let me pull it up on Goodreads. This came out last year. Oh, this came out 2 years ago, actually. It is part of a series. I don't think I've read this author before. This is the second in a series, but I believe that they're standalones, hopefully. I'm going in on number 2. It is called Mistletoe and Mishigas, which, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, it's a Yiddish word. It is Yiddish for craziness, foolishness, nonsense. It has 4,651 ratings. It is sitting at a 4.0. Straight up 4 stars. And the series is called Teachers in Love. So it is, I think, about like one school that has teachers that fall in love. So here we go. It's dual POV as far as what I have seen from opening the book all of one time to make sure that it downloaded correctly. Here we go. Okay. Sheldon Solaskin should be having a horrible day. Even though he's been unexpectedly transferred to a new school right before the holidays, has only one day to set up his new classroom, and just discovered his twin sister's been hiding an invitation to his ex-boyfriend's Christmas Eve wedding, he's still ready to take on the world with a smile on his face and a skip in his step. What is with people, no offense if you've had a Christmas wedding, but people who have Christmas weddings, explain yourself, okay? On the other hand, Theo Berenson just wants to be left alone to his custodial duties, but when the chipper new first grade teacher, needs help moving furniture the Sunday after Thanksgiving, he's forced to do something he detests: help. To make matters worse, Theo's overbearing parents are coming for Hanukkah in a few weeks, and he's told them he has a boyfriend. Except he doesn't, because who would want to date an oaf like Theo? Working together, these opposites discover they might be able to help each other out. Agreeing to be each other's dates, they become friends as they practice for their upcoming events. But when all the rehearsing starts feeling a little too real, and both men's pasts roaring back to haunt them, will they be able to pull off the ultimate holiday masquerade? Let's do this, shall we? I'll read you the first sentence. I'm going to take a quick break because I literally just finished the Cat Sebastian book and I want to just like sit with that for a second. I'm going to go like make a tea and just like, I don't want to leave that world just yet. Also here, hold on. Oh, I'll just show you it on here. They have illustrations, so I'll show you what they look like. So here you go. You got to look at Sheldon, our little first grade teacher, and our oaf, our custodian, Theo. And we get there, and before their POVs, their faces are there. So chapter 1, Sheldon. News of my boyfriend's engagement should have ruined my morning, but I have exactly one day to prepare a new classroom for a gaggle of first graders. It was a surprise school transfer that I got yesterday, the Sunday after Thanksgiving, which is fine. It happens all the time. What doesn't happen all the time? Finding an invitation to your ex-boyfriend's wedding hidden by your womb-mate turned roommate in the kitchen junk drawer. Oh, and the wedding? It's on Christmas Eve. How tacky. Okay, my friends, we are finishing this today. It is December 22nd. I need to get this to you guys. In a few hours, Mischief and Mishigas, immediate DNF. I think not immediate, but I read, I think, about 90 pages of it, and it was simply, it's dual POV. One of the characters drove me insane. I think I actually I also, in the midst of filming this, I just got back from Japan. We booked like a random trip. I got some glasses, these are just for like blue light blocking because I am looking at screens way too much. Let me like read you some examples, okay? Oh, I did actually like this. There's a lot of Yiddish in this, and like I know enough Yiddish to like get a lot of the jokes. And so this one is like, he meets I almost said president. He meets the principal of his new school and he looks like a young Santa. The principal's like, yeah, the kids are all convinced I'm Santa's younger brother, but I'm Jewish, so I'm more Santa Klutz. He laughs from his belly. Come, let me show you the space, he says, and immediately trips over the doorstep. It also was just language choice. Like this was very modern day, whereas I just went from reading After Hours at Dooryard Books, which was the writing was so beautiful. And then our main character in Mischief and Mishigas is like, oh my gosh, what's this one? He says, oh my gosh, major upgrade vibes. And like, that's how he talks. Like, oh my God, major vibes. Da, 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 da. Like I read vibes way too many times for the amount of pages that I read. Or like some of the sentences were really repetitive. Like he's talking to his sister and he goes, okay, let's talk it out. Whenever either of us has a problem, talking it out is our solution. We sit and talk until we come up with a few possible solutions. What? Like those 3 sentences could have been one, or just not at all. But yeah, it's one of those cases where one character is supposed to be really talkative and bouncy, but he's literally like, every chance he gets, he likes to talk about sparkly unicorns. And oh my God, he references RuPaul how many times. He literally is like, I sent thanks to our Lord RuPaul. And I'm just like, ooh, a couple times I get it. Love watching Drag Race. A couple times I get it. Again, it's similar to the amount of times he said vibes, the amount of times he said RuPaul, the amount of times he said unicorn. It was just too much for me. And it was one of those cases where the like grumpy character doesn't speak. And like he has reasons to, which I barely know because he was like in active duty, I'm pretty sure. So he's dealing with a lot, but he hasn't really talked about it yet because he doesn't speak. And it's one of those cases where the golden retriever is just like, yep, 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 yep. And then he doesn't answer. And so he just goes, yep, 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 yep. Like when I'm talking to someone and they don't answer a direct question, I might be like, oh, I mean, and I'll try one more time. And if they don't answer me again, just a blank stare, I might excuse myself, you know, like he was clearly bothering this poor custodian trying to like set up his classroom. I would have left the guy alone, you know? It was just, he would speak like for a full page and then the other character would like grunt and then he would speak for too much for me. That was quickly put down, but I saved the best for last. I'm going to be finally reading Merrily Ever After by the absolutely wonderful Catherine Walsh. This is apparently a short story collection. I think it's only 100-something pages, and it actually calls back to some characters from her previous work, but you don't need to read anything. You can just dive right into this right now. It's sitting at a 3.53. Here are the 4 stories that we've got. 4 short stories, 4 Christmas wishes. Close your eyes and make a Christmas wish. Wished for another Catherine Walsh Christmas book. Got it. Oliver wants to give his best friend Laura the happy Christmas she deserves, and he hatches a plan with disastrous consequences. Zoe just hopes the season will pass without a hitch for her and her almost 4-year-old, but the universe seems to have other ideas. Hannah is determined to show her girlfriend just how much she loves her. If only she could think away from the chaos of the Fitzpatrick household. And Sean knows it will take something pretty spectacular to sweep Colleen off her feet. 4 short stories, 4 Christmas wishes. But will it all end merrily ever after for the Fitzpatrick gang this holiday season? Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, I'm going to read this and then we're going to be done. I'm hoping to post this either on Christmas Eve or close to that. So Merry Christmas. Let's read Merrily Ever After.
Okay, we're starting from Oliver's POV, Oliver's story, and it starts on Christmas Eve in London, and it just says, I should have brought more tinsel. It's the only thing I can think of as I balance on the stool in the dark living room, using the last of my tape to hang another string of fairy lights on the wall. Not that you can ever have too many fairy lights, but tinsel is supreme. There's a reason it's stuck around all these years.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
Okay, so their meet cute is that 10 years ago when they were in college, she reflexively just kicks him in the balls.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas.
Okay, friends, 200 pages later, that was very cute. It was, like I said, 4 stories. I think I liked the first 2 the best. The first one was like a classic yearning. They've both secretly loved each other for 10 years and they never talk about it. The next one was about a single mom who has like the worst Christmas ever. But she realizes she's surrounded by a really loving, wonderful community. So it was just really feel good. The third one was just a little stressful. Hannah is trying to make this big romantic gesture so that her girlfriend, who is currently choosing graduate schools, chooses the one in Ireland instead of going abroad. But Hannah doesn't want to like force her to choose, blah, 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 blah. So it was just like a stressful one. And then the last one was a flashback, and it was the dad of the family learning to dance to impress his will be his future wife. But it took place like in the 70s and it was just really cute. So I liked them all. I just think that especially the first one kind of stood out the most to me. Solid. I think that one, like if you aren't ready to commit to like a full book, and you just want to read something really quick on Christmas or Christmas Eve, perfect. All the stories were perfect length. They were all like exactly 50 pages. So you can read it in like an hour if you aren't distracted. Gorgina. Thank you, Catherine Walsh. Once again, cannot wait. Go pre-order it. Her debut, not like first traditionally published novel that is not Christmassy is coming out this year, or in 2026. So do what you will, request at your library, etc. So let me look at what we've read. My hair is falling apart. Okay, in terms of DNFs, Good Elf Gone Bad, A Very Merry Mistake, and Mistletoe and Mishigas. I think the Mistletoe one was because of my style of writing. I just cannot read that kind of character. A Very Merry Mistake was just kind of, but did I finish that? See, I don't even know. No, I definitely didn't finish that. It was just like bleh, boring. Good Elf Gone Bad, 6 pages. From the prologue, DNF'd that baby. Just not for me. Just not for me. In terms of pretty okay, Big Nick Energy, Holiday Ever After, and Good Spirits all gave Hallmark movie in like affectionately, they didn't really stand out to me. I was a little let down by Holiday Ever After just in terms of what I was expecting from Hannah Grace. But if you go into it without those expectations, I think it was a solid romance. Good Spirits didn't hit for me, but I've seen it hit for a lot of people. So I wouldn't write it off just based on one review. And then Big Nick Energy was fine. It moved a little fast, but it also moved a little slow. And Nick was just like a perfect guy, which like felt a little impossible, but all pretty solid. Wrapped Up in You, the only issue I had with it was that it was way too short. That had so much potential for so much good yearning. I loved those characters in such a short amount of time. Really, really needed that to be longer. Thank you. Mistlefoe, I don't know what that was. I don't know why I thought that was going to be Christmassy. I had a good time with it only because I was like so shocked and confused. Yeah, it hit the ground running. Pretty sure it was page 3 that we got Smut City. And off we went. And then Merrily Ever After, A-okay with me. Very cute, lovely, warm, cozy, not sad about it at all. So yeah, this wasn't my best year. I feel like other years I've had high highs and low lows. This was kind of just like a sort of year, but not bad at all. I weirdly feel more in the Christmas spirit this year than I have previous years, maybe because I started earlier, like right when it hit December. I was like, I am going to have Christmas decor, and I drank a lot of peppermint tea. My mom sent me peppermint bark. I lit my Christmas candle. I went to a Christmas market. I've been listening to Christmas, like I've been working on it. So I feel the Christmas cheer this year, which is great. And it's only the 22nd in my world right now. So yeah, those are the Christmas romances that I read. This is like, I think our 3rd year of this Christmas marathon. Not bad. Not bad. I am now going to start embarking on figuring out how I'm going to talk about my favorite books of the year, all of the wrap-up kind of content. So let me know what you'd like to see from me in the upcoming year. I really want to try and make, I don't know, I feel like maybe I'll slow down a little bit in terms of posting every single week, because it's kind of difficult to try and read and also make content and have it be kind of up to the standard that I want it to be. So yeah, I hope that next year I'll be able to come up with some really good stuff. Let me know, like, what's your favorite stuff that you've seen from me? What do you wish I would be doing? This is when I'm kind of brainstorming for the rest of the year. So would really appreciate your input. And I'm trying to start, I don't know, I have a Substack. I'll link it down below, but I'm going to try and also update there as well, just so that I can maybe slow down on certain content in some places, but still be able to like talk to you guys and stuff. So there's that. I will link it below, and I'm going to try and start that as of January. But yeah, in case I don't chat with you before, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, happy birthday to my birthday twins, New Year's Eve babies, and I will see you in 2026. Thank you for bringing me so much joy for so many years. This is my 5th year on BookTube, which is insane. And I'm every day just so happy that I get to do this as my job. And so just really, really thank you so much, and let me know what I can do for you in the future. So catch you guys next time. Thank you always. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and see you then, okay? See you next year. Bye.